Legends Arceus is now out, so it's time to take a look at some of the secret and hidden side quests that can be found in this game. There's loads of them actually, so if you guys are ready, grab yourself a beverage and let's get started. We start things off with the Seas Legend. Now this is a side quest that you need to do if you want to get your hands on a certain set of Pokemon, that being Manaphy and Phione. So let's get started. First of all, to do the Seas Legends, you have to get the quest activated at the Galaxy Hall from the Blackboard. This one is actually pretty interesting because this quest itself is actually a kind of hinted thing within BDSP. If you played BDSP and you went over to Canalave Library, there's an entry about the Seas Legend which mentions specifically you getting your hands on a man-type weasel and especially also a quillfish. Not an overquill, which is what you need for this quest, because here's what you actually need, which is to bring an overquill, mantyke, and weasel to the pointy rock formation in the Cobalt Coastlands. Once you've done that, a cavern will open up where you can catch Manaphy and Phione as well. And like I said, this is mentioned in BDSP, so it's such a cool little side quest that's included, but also it's done in these sort of post-games, so you can't do it straight away, and it's not very obvious. The Token of Gratitude and the Darksome Nightmare are two separate quests, but that kind of have the same thing going for them. Now, the first one, you're required to have Sword and Shield save data on your actual console to do this quest. Now, what is it? Well, basically, you gotta help Medi at the Fieldlands camp to catch Shaymin, or just even see Shaymin. But to do this quest, I have a whole guide on the channel if you want to check that out, but that's besides the point. To catch Shaymin, you mainly have to talk to Medi, and you have to have a copy of Sword and Shield save data on your console. Once you've talked to her, you can go over to the Flowaro Garden, and once you go there, you will find a Shaymin chilling in the grass that you can catch and battle. However, the Darksome Nightmare requires you to have a BDSP save data, and this is for you to go and search for the mysterious black Pokemon at the Claimber Claw Cliffs at night, and this is for you to catch Darkrai. You can only get these quests, by the way, within the game if you have the save data of either Sword and Shield for, well, I guess Shaymin, and of course BDSP for the Darkrai side quest. So you need to have those save files for that. Again, you can find these quests at the Blackboard once you've completed the main story of the game, and they are pretty secret if you don't have these other games save data. If you don't have those, you literally can't get these. Snow White Vulpix in the Snow. Now this side quest, which is side quest number 83, is where you need to find 5 Alolan Vulpix, specifically Alolan Vulpix, within the Alabaster Icelands. Now once you've activated this quest within the Galaxy Hall, you can head over to the Alabaster Icelands and you will find a guy that has a side quest for you. Now you must find 5 Alolan Vulpix and reunite the Vulpix to this guy. Once you've completed the quest, he will actually give you a free Alolan Vulpix, which you can add to your team, and there you go. There's an Alolan Vulpix essentially now within Hisui. And you get rewarded with, well, the Alolan Vulpix and an EXP candy large. A Peculiar Ponyta. Now this one you might have heard about recently, but a lot of people haven't really done it, but I think you should. This is where you gotta show Yota the special Ponyta. Now this is kind of an odd one, but it can't be easily missed if you are playing the game. What you gotta do is go to the board, and if you during the story talk to the board, you will find a quest known as the Peculiar Ponyta. If you got this one, you gotta head into Jubilee Village and talk to Yota. Once you've spoken to him, he'll tell you about a location where you can find a very strange Ponyta. If you go there, you will specifically find a shiny Ponyta. Yes, a shiny Ponyta which you can catch pretty easily actually. And once you've done this, you head back to Yota, show him the shiny Ponyta. He'll reward you with 5 raspberries as well as you keeping your shiny Ponyta pretty much. So there you go. Kind of a fun little side quest and a good introduction to shiny Pokemon in this game. The Eevee Evolutions. This one requires you to interact with the Umbreon within the Galaxy Hall and give it a Jubilee Muffin. If you've done this little side quest, you will actually be essentially rewarded with 1 rare candy and either 1 fire, water, or Thunderstone. Now this is really useful because you might need these stones if you want to get all the Evolutions. So nice, just kind of a nice way for you to get an Evolution early on. The Incarnate Forces of Hisui. This is where you gotta catch the Forces of Nature legendary Pokemon. This is the actually final side quest within these games. Now after completing mission number 26, which is seeking the remaining plates, you can go and speak to Kogita at the Galaxy headquarters to activate this quest. Now once it's activated, the legendary Pokemon will actually start roaming the wilds, and you can find them in 4 different parts of the Hisui region. The legendaries, however, will only show up during different weather occurrences, so just keep that in mind as you're out there hunting for them. But this is one of the coolest quests in the game, and I love roaming legendaries personally. Traces of a Lost Village. This is where you have to defeat the Frostlass and find the old journal. Now this request can be started by speaking with Manny inside the basement level of the Galaxy Hall. If you've done this, he'll tell you about an ancient village belonging to the Ginkgo Guild that once lived in the Avalanche Slopes area of the Alabaster Islands. Investigating the ruins, Wisps. Once you've made it there, you can interact with 2 Snorunt, and you will also receive the Torn Journal. Once that is done, you get to battle the Frostlass. Now, once you've done that, you've completed the quest, you take the journal back to Manny, and you will be rewarded with a Dawnstone. Kind of a little bit of a creepy one. The Traces of a Lost Village. Makes you think about things. Getting to know ghosts. Now, this is where you have to show the ward a completed Ghastly Pokédex. This is a very important quest if you want to get the link cord for free in the game. Now, by talking to the ward near the bridge in Jubilee Village, he will ask you to complete the Ghastly Pokédex entry. Once you've done this, you will get the link cord. Essentially, all the Pokemon would usually need trading in these games, but basically you can skip that, no trading with other players, and evolve your Pokemon straight away by using the link cord as an example. So you can turn Ghastly, well, or rather Haunter, into a Gengar, and also Kadabra into Alakazam. It just works easier this way, instead of you being screwed over by a character giving you a Pokemon with a Everstone. So yeah, you get the point. Basically, it's a nice little quest. It's a side quest and really useful one if you need the free item instead of going around trying to collect the merit points. To bloom or not to bloom, this is where you have to show Kichi a completed Cherrim Pokédex entry. Now, this is essentially one of the hardest side quests to actually do. Now, why is this the case? Well, basically, you have to get your hands on a Pokemon that until recently was very broken in terms of catch rate. So let's talk about this. You got to speak to Kichi near the farm in Jubilee Village to begin this request. You must then complete the Pokédex entry of Cherrim. Now, the easiest option is to capture Cherubi, and you can only really, find these hiding inside of berry trees, a quite rare Pokemon, so to say. Now, places that you can find both these Pokemon are the Heartwood area of the Obsidian Fieldlands, as well as the Gape Jewel Bog in the Crimson Mirelands, as well as the Lonely Spring and the Fabled Spring, and the Primeval Grottos sections of the Cornered Highlands. This side quest takes some time, okay? It takes a while to complete this and to do this quest, and then to show it to Kichi, it takes you a long time. It's especially one of those really difficult quests, let's just say it like that. Before we get to the end, we have a bonus side quest include, which is keeping out an eye for Apom. This one, it requires you to essentially speak with Hiko, who's located near the Windbreak Stand in the Cobalt Coastlands. He will then tell you about the 2 Apom who run off with his backpack. Now, what you gotta do is track the Apoms and then follow them, and a cutscene will appear, and basically it will result in you having to battle them. Now, once you've defeated the 2 Apom, the quest will be completed. You can head back to your boy Hiko and give him back his backpack, and you'll be rewarded with 5 scatter bags as well as 1 EXP candy medium. So kind of a fun little side quest, Apoms being Apoms, I guess. And finally, we have number 10, which is Eerie Apparitions in the Night. This is a quest where you have to collect 107 wisps and then meet Vesa at the Odd Keystone statue at night. Now, after completing the story mission, the Frenzy of the Lord of the Woods, you'll then encounter a cutscene with Vesa. You can locate Vesa near the center of the Jubilee Village. Now, she wants you to find all 107 wisps scattered across Hisui. Talking to her again while finding them, she will let you know how many there are left in the wild. So by doing this, it's an easy way to figure out how many you got to go. Now, as you collect the wasps, or wisps rather, not wasps, throughout the Hisui region, you can return to Vesa to grab rewards along the way. Now, here are the rewards depending on how many of these things you get. So for 10 of the wisps, you can get an Oval Stone. For 20, you get the Seed of Mastery. For 30, you get the Dusk Stone. For 40, you get an EXP Candy Large. And for 50, you get the Linking Cord, which is pretty cool. For 60, you get Grit Pebbles, 5 of them actually. For 70, you get a Scrap of Reaper Cloth. For 80, you get Seed of Mastery, 3 of them. For, 90 of these, you get the EXP Candy XL, 2 of those, and at 100, Grit Rock 3 times. So, once you've collected all 107 of these wisps, Vesa will detail your next steps. You will then need to meet her at the Shrouded Ruins in the Crimson Mirelands during the night. Once you are there, you will get to activate the Keystone with the last 108th wisp, and this will allow you to summon in Spiritomb and actually capture it. So this is the way you actually get Spiritomb, and it's one of the most complicated and long and drawn out things within this game. So there you go, ladies and gents. Those are some of the secret and hidden side quests in Legends Arceus.